Let's talk radios. So, radio, what do I run for radio? Let's start with what we have here, because this is what I do run. So as you can see, it's a Turnigy 9XR. And why do I have this radio? Well, because it's cheap. And instead of having a pistol radio, which was, especially when I started, quite expensive to have a radio that could do mixing, the stick radio could do mixing for much better value. I started with another radio, say 30 euros radio, also from Hobby King, Turnigy, something, 6 channels, and I adapted really well to the sticks. And the advantage for me of having a cheap radio is that I don't mind modding it. I mean, cutting here and putting another switch there and all that. So more or less this is what we'll be doing today, hopefully. What is this one different than the standard 9XR is that I put here on this side here, it's a pressure switch. I mean, just a one with a spring, and the same on this side. So this one here on the left is my dig, and this one here on the right is the burn. And if I want to, I can always lock. So this switch here locks the dig, and the equivalent on this side locks the burn if I need it. Never need it, but there you go. Also, this means that, especially if I switch the dig to this side and turn around, I can have Dario run my rig as if it was his, more or less. And, you know, that's always good. Okay, so this is 9 channels. I only use 3, but the advantage from this radio from my previous one is that the previous one I also have a video somewhere with a tutorial. I tried to do a tutorial on how to set it up for crawlers, and it's somewhere in my channel. That one you could only program it with the computer. This one you have the screen, you can program it there. Which is much easier. Although, yeah, programming this stuff is not so complicated, but at the same time is not so easy. So I did it once, I learned how to do it, and I kind of forgot more or less. So yeah, I just copy paste the programs and take it from there. I did have at some point, I bought this one, because to have springs on both sides, you can see that they are different. This one's smooth, this one is springy, and this one I think was also the smooth type. No, springy. Is that Hobby King, when they released these, they made like a huge investment, I would say, in promoting these, and they had all the parts around. So basically I bought, I think it was mode 2, and then I just bought the gimbal from the mode 1, so I have spring on both. And fortunately, well, not fortunately, when I went to Eurocrawl in 2015, I actually damaged one of these. I broke some little plastic stuff somewhere here, and I bought a spare one of these, the right gimbal. I bought a spare one because they were still available and they were dirt cheap. But in the end, the fix that we made in Spain lasted a long time. So I didn't replace it. But apparently one of these potentiometer was not working very well. Was not coming back to 0 in a very consistent way. So I ended up replacing, so this is new. Other than that, yeah, these switches are gone, but there are a lot of channels that I don't use. So now I will try to build a super class car. So that leaves me with a dilemma. The dilemma being, how am I going to make the rear steer? Now the rear steer, here is just throttle and mixes both channels, and then here I have the dig. Here I can advance, here I have steering, yeah, front steering. This is on my Pro car. I have steering, and here I can advance or retard the rear motor on the fly, which is really nice. It's not 100%, but I can play, I mean, if I play here, I can play with the amount of the percentage that I can play with this one. So that's really nice and convenient. And you know, before the Sanwa, I must have pronounced this very bad way, but the M12, the pistol radio with the lever, before that one came around, you could not do, as far as I know, on the fly, like really subtle changes to the ratio between the front axle and the rear axle on a pistol. It was only steps. And this kind of radio really had an advantage, because you had infinite, you could change the percentage from the front to the rear infinitely. So what did I come up with to put the rear steer on a Super? Where is that thing? I bought a pack of 10 of these. What are these? Well, there you go. These are from the PlayStation remote. You know, just have a PlayStation, the little gimbal from the PlayStation. Now I saw this mod, I think it was also in Spain, 2015, and I think it was Oli from Martinique that had this on his radio, on his pistol radio. He took the lever, or he bypassed the lever, and he put this just for his thumb. Instead of being on the lever like this, you would have on the pistol like this, which was more convenient to him. So I thought, well, let's do that, or try to do that, but on this stick radio. So where am I going to put this? Well, my idea, and I'm going to put the camera down and I'll open the radio, is to, let me put this here. My idea is to have this, where can I, there we go, always something around. So my idea is to have this about here, okay? In the back of the radio I'll have just left or right. So instead of having one of many, for example here, I have these 3 pods that are pretty much useless. I can take one out and I replace with this. So with that in mind, let's get cracking. Voila, I had the screws out. I cheated. I already started doing this. So as you can probably see here, these wires are gone. So this pod here, this potentiometer here, is no longer connected to anything. I can always put one of these plugs and plug it back in. I don't think I need it. I leave it like this for now. But I plugged here. I put one of these plugs, and maybe you already saw it. I have one plug here. Okay. There we are. Even the colors kind of match. How about that, for luck? So I made with let's focus, with a little bit of Lexan, drilled some holes, just solder the wires, put a little bit of hot glue just to be on the safe side because of the wires might get loose. These standoffs are more or less okay. I think I'm going to try it to run like this. Okay, and yeah, let's try to do that. I actually made a mistake because before gluing this stuff, I could have just put it here and it would be so much easier. But I got ahead of myself, and what can you do now? Now I just want to kind of eyeball where this stuff will end up. Like I said, the advantages of a cheap radio. You don't really care if you mess up. It doesn't have to look pretty. Just have to kind of work. Mind you, this is not the way you should be doing this. I'm just showing you how to hack, how to kind of destroy your radio. So, you know, if you do something like this to your radio, try to do a better job, will you? Okay, so I was just filing this a bit off camera anyway. Now seems to be okay. Full this way, full that way. Now it's in place. You can watch me struggle to put this back together, because I also added this power wire. This radio can be fed off a 3S, but only here on the balancing port, and that was kind of annoying, so I just added this, which is nice, the GST plug, but it just makes it annoying when I open and close this radio. And now to add to that, I'll have two plugs. So, when I do this, you'll see both channels. And then on this stick here, I can advance the rear motor. Oh, my backlight just went. Anyway, we're good. I can advance the rear motor or retard it a little bit. This is steering. And now I have this one in the back. There we go. Just with my hands in an awkward position actually. So, maximum, we're good. We're really good. I'm happy with that. I think I just need to add something to get this higher, so I can have more leverage and a bit more precision. This has a hole, quite small hole, but maybe I can put some little screw on it or something. And that's that. That's my mod, another mod for this radio, which isn't bad to start with, and it gets better and better. Too bad Hobby King quit producing this, and yeah, now that we don't have parts and we don't have really cheap radios, because this was like 50 euros, I think. I bought it for 50 euros without the module, and the receivers cost me 8 euros, 7 euros, 8 euros, something like that. And for what it is, for what it's supposed to be doing with a crawler, it's not long distance or anything like that. This is a really nice radio. I mean, for this kind of stuff, you don't need much more. Anyway, hope you liked the video, and cheers.